Well, a very good morning to you. This morning we get the low end and the low down of the world of gaming, not only in South Africa but also on an international scale. I am out in Randburg today at the Disputed People Games Studio, and I am joined by Khumo Moerane, the man that is in charge here. Khumo, a good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
So first things first, when anyone walks into this building, we just say at Disputed People Game Studio, what do you guys do on a daily basis? Other than have fun, because I can see that.
Having fun and losing my mind. We make video games. Specifically, we're making African-inspired video games, so that's our big focus. And yeah.
So when we look at gaming, I know that a lot of people saying gaming is very big on an international scale. What does it look like from a local and South African point of view?
Well, let me split it into two things, right? From a consumer point of view, I guess South Africans spend like 5 billion rand on games. But from
on what time frame? What's that?
This is from last year, sorry.
Okay, yeah.
Last year's figures. So, and from a development side, there's very few studios making games. I think a lot in Cape Town and a few in Joburg. So, yeah, so it's we're just growing the industry from the development side at least.
And how would you say we compare to the rest of the world?
Quality-wise or numbers-wise?
Both quality, numbers, from a commercial point of view, financial point of view. How does it look?
Look, I think from the quality, I think it's getting better for the smaller studios at least. There are more established studios in Cape Town that have been doing great work. But I think from the smaller up-and-coming studios like ourselves, our quality is busy getting better. You know, we're 2 years old almost at this point. From the sales figures, I believe the figures that I saw, because the South African companies don't release their figures, right? So we got data from like 2018, 2015. I think at that point they were making like close to like maybe $50 million a year. But then this is out of a $187 billion industry. So we are probably like 0.000000001%.
Very small margin, but would you say that it is an industry that, since you've been involved in, you've seen grow over the years?
No, tremendously. I mean, it's to have a company in the first place, you know, of this size, this many employees here is like indication of the growth that's happening. Also, we're one of the first companies, actually the first company in the country to get government support. National government support to make games and create jobs. So it's picking up, it's growing. There's university courses. I mean, they've started in 2015, if I'm not mistaken. So the country has been bit by bit growing, you know. I'll make an example of gaming in itself is a very young industry or young medium, but you got companies like Ubisoft, which is like the French giant company. They started in 1986. So already they're like 40 years almost in the game, right? And we're like, what, 2 years? So as a country, as an industry, we're still at the early stages. But yeah, we're pushing. But then there's some people who came out with games like in 2010s. But it's been happening like, you know, bit by bit, like people doing fire here. So we're just trying to now bring everyone together and help it grow faster.
And in you trying to bring it all together and help it grow faster, what would you say, perhaps for someone just sitting at home watching and just saying, what do you mean? People play games and it's a career, they make games, that's a career. Talk me through the various careers that exist within the world of gaming. Because for a layperson like myself, all I think is, well, there's someone that makes the games and then there's someone that plays the games, and that's all I can think about. But what does it look like from a career point of view, and what are the different elements and parts that are involved?
Yeah. Look, I think gaming is amazing in the sense it encompasses all creative mediums, right? So you have writers. If you love to write, you can write for games. If you're an artist, if you're a 2D artist, you can draw for games. If you're a 3D artist, you can make the models. If you're a voiceover artist, you know, all those recordings, scripts and stories have to be acted by someone, right? If you're a director, if you're a musician, you can make music for games. And then obviously the classic one, if you're a coder, then you can program, you know, C#, and so it encompasses the whole industry. So like for myself, I'm from a graphic design background, but so But then I've always wanted to do games, so it's like now I can fit into here and be creative director of the company. Yeah.
So you would say that it's a definite viable career option where you will have financial stability?
We're working on the financial stability part. We are working on that part because I mean it's gaming globally has gone through ups and downs. Like last year, I think there were big retrenchments, but that's because I think and it might be like a hangover from COVID. Remember when COVID, when everyone was indoors, came in because people were not playing more games.
I was going to say that I would think that's when it would boom the most because most of us weren't allowed to go anywhere or do anything else.
So that happened, but then I think it was over, and then afterwards I think things calmed down, and then people were like, what the hell's now? I think people are overstaffed and all this jazz. So it's been going up and down, but I mean still like if you make a hit game, I mean you can. I'm just trying to think about this game that came out this year, Pal World. I think they like made $180 million. Like, so you can, if you come out with a hot game, I mean, you can become like legendary in a short
and
space.
Retire.
And retire.
Speaking about hot games and legendary games, of course, so we're in sport, I'm in sport. So how big would you say sport is in the world of gaming?
That's another big growth, right? And that's so amazing because I remember, when I started doing FIFA tournaments, this was like 2012, me and a bunch of friends in Cape Town, and we were hosting them ourselves. At that point, I guess it was maybe us and one more company in Cape Town trying to do something around it, and we were just getting like 50 Rand entry and then using that same money to give people prize money. And now you've gone to like, I think Red Bull signed people now to like their FIFA team. You got players playing international. There's one guy, Mobeen, he used to play at our tournaments, and now he was signed to a professional team playing in Saudi Arabia tournaments.
It's massive, especially when it comes to the FIFA part of it.
Yeah.
All right, and that's how we wrap it up out here in Randburg, Disputed People Game Studio, speaking to Khumo, but all things gaming and just opening up your mind and your world to realizing that there's so much more that's involved in gaming than what meets the eye.